Hello and welcome to Computer Class. My name is Dave, and today we're talking about page numbers and page layout. All right, so first let's talk about margins and how to do margins on a Word document. You have here um, in the layout tab of the ribbon, you have the margin section here. If you wanted to change the margin, you can hit custom margins and you can set it to anything you want. Assuming your page, you can change the orientation right here of your page, but you can also change the orientation on the actual layout tab. You can apply this margin to just a specific section of the document, or you could do it to the whole document. So you could do from this point forward if you wanted to. So that's something to be noted. Then, in order to, you could change the indentation, which is different than the margins, and you would do that by going to View and turning on, making sure you have turned on at least your rulers. And once you have your rulers turned on, then you can actually pull the wherever your cursor is, it will actually pull in the cursor a little bit so the indent is more. So if you want to move in a specific paragraph, wherever you have your cursor, you can move in that paragraph, which this is moving in this paragraph right here. So that's something to be noted. It's something you can do. You can push in this side if you wanted to. This would be for like potentially indenting one block quote paragraph if you're doing a paper or something like that. That little feature is helpful to note there. All right, let's also head over to layout here. You can also choose the size of the paper for which you'll be printing on. Sometimes you will do a legal size and not 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And this is where you also are able to do breaks. Now, along the line of breaks, let's talk about how to insert a header and a footer. So to insert a header and a footer, because it's in combination with breaks, you double click in this head section here, and if you want something to occur on every page, either on the bottom or the top, you put it in the header if you want it at the top, or the footer if you want it at the bottom. And you can put things like page numbers in the bottom and type information like the date and such in the top. What is common when people are writing educational paper is that they want to put in a page number. However, there's usually an issue when they work with educational papers, and it's this: they want to have two sections of the document. This is why I said this lesson has a lot to do with layout. Usually, you want your outline and title page without page numbers, but you want your paper to actually have a page number. So how do you get two sections of your document, one with page numbers and one without? And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll make two different Word documents. They'll print out the outline and title page on one document. They'll print out, but you can do it all in one document actually with Word. It's just a little bit complicated. You got to remember the steps. I wrote them down for you. Number one is place the cursor at the end of the outline page. Okay. Then you insert a break on the next page from the layout tab. Then you double click in the header and footer and delink the pages. That's step 3. There we go. And then step 4 is to go to the insert tab and put the page number in the footer. There's one actual subsequent step to that, which is actually you need to then make the page number start on the on number 1 because it starts, and I'll show you that as we go along. All right, so the first thing is whatever page is right before you want the page numbering to start, you go to the bottom of that page, and then you go to the layout tab, you hit breaks, and see this section break on the next page. So click that. The section break happens and it's on the next page. Now I usually delete that extra space it gives. And then I double click in the header area. Notice it says section 1 and this one is now called section 2 because of our page break. And now this header footer section opens once I double click in the header area, and I can delink it from the previous. So there, I'm going to click that, scroll down to the bottom of this page and unlink that from the previous as well. So now my headers and footers are delinked from the two different sections. Okay, that's very important. At this point, I should be able to stick in my page numbering. Now, I want my page numbering at the bottom of the page, so I'm going to make sure it's in the footer, which is typical for most people. I'm going to center it. which again, typical for educational papers. And there you go. It's starting at number 1, if you notice. And notice there's no page number here. If I put it in before, it would have showed up on every page, but it's not showing up there. It's now showing up on all subsequent pages, and it's starting at number 1. Now, if it didn't start at number 1, and this is potentially a thing that could occur, you click the page number button, and you format the page number, and you make sure it's starting at 1. Sometimes it's a little screwed up and it starts at like 0 or something, or it'll start at 2. Whatever the case may be, you can fix it. Again, it's an error I've seen before. You can fix it by doing this right here. So you want to close that. Once you do, you notice, again, we go to the top, nothing there. Now if I wanted to, I could put a header, a different header in this one. So, hi, let's just say. Okay, you notice that is not in this header either. If I put something here, by, right, they are completely different. These are delinked. So I have separate sections of my document now, page numbers in that section for creating educational papers. The last thing I want to talk about is design, and this has a little bit to do with layout as well. You can actually, and this occurs sometimes, you can pick certain design styles for your headings and different things. You can pick certain color schemes for your document, which is pretty helpful. You can also do a watermark. I don't know if you've ever seen in the background of some document it says confidential. If you click confidential here, they have like pre-done selections, or you can do a custom one. But if you click confidential, it actually puts that underneath of everything on every page, so that when you print this out, um, I'm going to hit Control Z to go back. It will have that in the background. Okay. You can do a page color, which could literally change the whole page. That now notice the only reason that it is showing up, if I click this, you'll see, is because I copied this off the internet. This is lorem ipsum filler text, and that's why it apparently has a some sort of highlighting, but you could get rid of the highlighting and you'd be able to see the watermark a little better. You can do page borders as well. If I wanted to, I could click that here, do a little box, and there's a page border around every single page. Now this looks pretty decently ugly, so I wouldn't be doing that anytime soon. But those are just some really helpful layout things that people sometimes do when formatting either papers or pages or doing things like that in Microsoft Word. And so you've got layouts, you've got indentation, you've got margins, you've got page numbers, you've got headers, you've got footers, and you've got some design features. All right, so hopefully this lesson was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.